Are you considering a move to Southwest Washington, more specifically Camas or Vancouver? Well, I'm here today to go into an in-depth discussion about the differences between both cities. If you're new to our channel, I'm Jamie Mushaw with Jamie Mushaw Real Estate, and we talk about all things real estate in Southwest Washington, including Vancouver, Camas, Washougal, Battleground, and other surrounding areas, as well as Portland Metro. Even though Camas and Vancouver are neighboring cities and very close to each other in proximity, there are some key factors that people look at when they're trying to determine which city they should move to, including housing, lifestyle, taxes, job availability, and commute to surrounding areas. If you're not familiar with Camas or Vancouver, Vancouver has about 200,000 people in population, where Camas only has about 28,000 people in the population of their small little community. If you're using commute time as one of your determining factors as to which city you should move to, here are some things to think about. Vancouver is pretty spread out and has access to I-5 and 205 directly from within the city, depending on where you're at. If you're living in Vancouver, it could take you anywhere from about 10 to 25 minutes to commute to Portland International Airport. And depending on what time of day, if you're trying to get to downtown Portland, it could take you anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes. If you're looking at Camas to move to, the commute from Camas, depending on where you're at within Camas, could be anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. And if you're looking at commuting into downtown Portland from Camas, your commute times are going to be anywhere from 25 to up to 50 minutes, depending on the day and traffic. Now, you can't talk about Camas or Vancouver without talking about housing, because obviously housing is going to be a key factor if you're looking to move to Camas or Vancouver. The median sales price as of August of 2025 in Vancouver is $505,000, where the median sales price in Camas is $745,000. Now, you're probably wondering, why is there such a vast difference in the median sales price between Vancouver and Camas? Well, that's largely due to the fact that a lot of Camas has a lot of newer construction going on, and most of that new construction starts at about $800,000 and goes on up into the $2 million range, depending on which part of Camas that you're in. To where Vancouver is a lot more spread out and has more variety of homes to choose from. And within that median sales price, you have also townhomes and condos that are pretty affordable, that you can find all the way down to the $300,000 price point. And you can find starter homes in Vancouver, 2-bedroom, 1-baths, starting around $375,000 all the way up to about $500,000. And again, Vancouver does have new construction going on in it, and they do have luxury properties as well. And you can find homes in Vancouver that are in the multi-million-dollar price range, because there is a large section of Vancouver that sits on the waterfront. So you can find a ton of waterfront properties in Vancouver if you're trying to find something along those lines, where Camas doesn't necessarily have that Columbia River waterfront. It does have waterfront properties along Lacamas Lake and a lot of view properties up on top of Prune Hill that have views of Portland and the Columbia River, as well as Mount Hood. As I mentioned before, you can find a lot of new construction in Camas. If that's something that you're trying to find, typically your new construction is going to start around the $800,000 price point to really find a home that's going to fit most people's needs. But there are some new construction homes going in Camas right now that are zero lot line type of properties, and they're starting around the $500,000 price point. There's not many of those out there available. And in Vancouver, you can find a lot of new construction as well. Also starting around that $500,000 price point, same type of property that are going to be zero lot line construction. But there's a lot more of those subdivisions going on in Vancouver because there's a lot more land available for those types of subdivisions. And you have a lot more price points to choose from for new construction in Vancouver if you are looking for a new construction home. In regards to pre-owned homes, there's a lot of pre-owned homes available in Camas that are going to be on a little bit larger lots. They might be older properties with some newer homes mixed in at that as well. And you can find those properties anywhere from the $600,000 price range on up in Vancouver. If you're looking at a starter home, you can find 2-bedroom, 1-bath homes that are around the $375,000 price range up to $450,000. Typically, if you start getting above $425,000, you're getting into 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes. So Vancouver, in terms of housing, is a lot more affordable because it's quite a bit bigger than what Camas is. And a lot of Camas is really focused on new construction or newer homes that were built over the last 10 to 15 years. And because of how much new construction is going on in Camas, it just naturally rises that median sales price there in Camas. Now, if you're looking at affordability in terms of what your property taxes are going to be in Vancouver versus Camas, Camas is a little bit higher than what you're going to find in Vancouver. So if you're taking housing into consideration when you're looking to move to Vancouver or Camas, those property taxes are going to be one key factor that you looked at, especially for new construction properties, because typically those taxes are not established yet. And you really want to make sure that you budget for that when you're looking to purchase a new construction home in Vancouver or Camas. But as I said before, the Camas property taxes are quite a bit higher than what they are in Vancouver. So that is going to affect your affordability to purchase a home between the two cities. Obviously, one of the other key factors that you need to take into consideration is job opportunities. What job opportunities are going to be available in Camas versus Vancouver? Well, by default, Vancouver is a bigger city and there's just more employers in Vancouver. There are a lot of healthcare facilities included in Legacy, Peace Health, and the Vancouver Clinic. And there are some small tech companies in Vancouver, where you have Camas that has Wafer Tech, which is a huge tech company in Camas. And there are other couple tech companies in Camas as well that employ people there to work. But a majority of people that live in Vancouver or Camas do commute to Portland for work. They just happen to live in Vancouver or Camas because typically the housing is more affordable than what you can find in Portland. And there are a lot of people that work remotely in Camas in Vancouver as well. You have to remember that Washington does not have any state income tax versus Oregon. If you live in Washington and you work in Oregon, you still have to pay Oregon state income tax because you're working there in Oregon. If you're looking for a suburban versus urban vibe, Vancouver is just, again, a bigger city, although the downtown Vancouver area has boomed in the last 5 years. There are a ton of high-end restaurants, shopping, hotels, condominiums, farmers market in downtown Vancouver. There is just a lot of major things going on in downtown Vancouver that is competing heavily with the downtown Portland area versus where if you're looking at Camas, Camas has a small, quaint downtown area, tree-lined streets, a lot of local businesses there and restaurants. There are also a few boutique clothing shops and just home furnishing shops as well, which actually happen to be high-end furnishings that match the lifestyle that is there in Camas. Camas overall just has that higher of quality of life feel to it because of the cost of living that is there. One of the most important factors out of all of this is the schools. How do the schools in Camas compare versus to the schools in Vancouver? Well, Camas School District is consistently a top-rated school district in the state of Washington, not only for its academics, but for its sports as well. They are both competitive between academics and sports. They are very highly rated in the state of Washington, where Vancouver has a variety of schools in their public school district. Some are quite a bit better than others, depending on which part of Vancouver that you look at, and you can find all of the statistics and information about both school districts online, and you will see that Camas is quite a bit higher rated than what Vancouver is. And a lot of people move specifically to Camas because of that high rating of the schools, and that's reflective into the cost of housing there. Those two go hand in hand with each other because of the demand of the schools there. In Camas, it essentially rises the prices of housing there because of the demand between the two. You're probably wondering about shopping, dining, and recreation that is available in Camas and Vancouver. Again, because Vancouver is so much bigger than Camas, there are a lot more options in terms of dining and shopping. A lot of the really great restaurants in Vancouver happen to be in that downtown area just because it's been so newly built over the last couple of years. You have a ton of options to choose from that are very walkable from each other. You could spend a whole day and evening down there trying out all the different restaurants. The one really cool thing about downtown Vancouver is that some of those restaurants just sit straight on the waterfront. So if you're enjoying your dinner, you can be looking at boats that are going up and down the river. To where if you're looking in downtown Camas, it's more of a quaint setting, tree-lined streets, local bakeries, local restaurants, there's an art gallery. Again, you can make a day and night of it in downtown Camas, but you're just not gonna have as many options in terms of dining when you're looking to do that. Now for shopping, Vancouver has all of the things that you're looking for, whether it be Costco, Target, Walmart. It even has a mall. It has everything that you could possibly need for shopping. If you're looking to do large purchases, most people will go into Portland because you're not paying taxes on those large purchase items. If you're looking for shopping in Camas, you're in luck because there actually is a Costco in Camas along the 192nd Avenue corridor. 192nd Avenue is basically the most western border of the Camas area, and you do have Lowe's and Home Depot and Walmart and all of those different types of shopping and fast food restaurants along that 192nd Avenue area. So you do have a lot to choose from in the Camas area in terms of shopping. But the one thing to note, as you go further north from Camas and the Lacamas Lake area, they have not built any infrastructure out there yet, and they're around the new construction that they're doing. So hopefully soon we'll have some more new infrastructure out in the northern part of Camas that will be able to serve all of the new construction that's going on out there. Now for recreation in Vancouver. Recreation that you have available to you, one of which is the Columbia River Trail, which is essentially a paved path along the Columbia River that you can run or bike on. It leads all the way into downtown Vancouver. Also in downtown Vancouver is Esther Short Park, where they do tons of events over the summertime, including concerts, wine and seafood festival, and they do free movies in the park on Friday evenings. And there is also a farmer's market in downtown Vancouver on Saturday and Sundays throughout the summertime. Now in Camas, for recreation, you have the Lacamas Lake trails where you can bike and ride on. You have Lacamas Lake where you can paddleboard, and there's also some waterfall trails that you can hike to see. And Camas is the gateway to the Columbia River Gorge, which is one of the most scenic areas that you can find here in the Pacific Northwest. Hopefully this video was helpful for you to determine which city is better for you, whether it be Camas or Vancouver. If you have any other questions about Camas or Vancouver, feel free to drop those down in the comments below. Additionally, you should know on our channel we have a lot of other content that covers Camas and Vancouver, from housing to schooling and everything in between. So make sure that you check those out. We also have a link to our free weekly newsletter down in the comments, so make sure you sign up for that. And to like and subscribe because we have some great videos for you coming up in the future. Thanks again. I'm Jamie Mushaw with Jamie Mushaw Real Estate.